First of all, we have provided immediate assistance in view of the rising energy prices and at the same time tackled two major reform projects. These are statutory health insurance and, of course, we also dealt with the federal budget. I am working on this as Chancellor, but the colleagues from the coalition are doing the same. The most important thing up front, we have decided on relief for the citizens in view of the rising fuel prices. We will reduce the energy tax, which is the mineral oil tax on diesel and gasoline, by about 17 cents per liter for 2 months. This will quickly improve the situation for drivers and businesses, and improve the situation in the country, especially for those who travel a lot by car for professional reasons. This applies to employees as well as businesses. The mineral oil tax affects everyone, and it is a very tangible relief, as I said, for private households as well as businesses, for example, for freight forwarding companies, nursing homes, and those who are currently particularly affected by high fuel prices. We expect in this context that the oil industry will pass on this relief directly and without restriction to consumers. Yesterday, Iran and the USA temporarily broke off negotiations over the ceasefire. The American president announced a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. As a result, oil prices have risen overnight to over $100 per barrel. This shows that this conflict, this war, is the real cause of the problems we are also experiencing in our own country. That's why I want to make it very clear once again that we are doing everything within our power to work towards ending this war. This applies to the foreign minister, but also to me personally. As far as we can influence it, we want to do so together with our European partners. At the same time, we cannot offset every outcome in the markets with government funds. That's why we limited them to 2 months. The state cannot cover all uncertainties, not all risks, and cannot absorb all the disruptions of global politics. After all, the state is all of us, and what we take from our budgets is lacking elsewhere. That is why this support is limited to 2 months. Thereafter, the old tax rate will automatically apply again. We are continuing to coordinate very closely within the European Union on these issues, with our partners in the European Union. Everything will become easier following Peter Magyar's election victory yesterday. We will now be able to reach joint decisions in the European Council. We will adopt a united stance within the European Union, including towards Russia. We will also hold further discussions. That is what we have already started last week, with the federal foreign minister also on his travels. I was not surprised by the decision to break off the talks in Islamabad. I did not have the impression from the beginning that they were really well prepared. And in this respect, it will be a longer process now. We are talking with the American government, we are talking with the parties in conflict, we are talking with Israel. This will be a long-lasting process, and we will continue to feel the consequences of this war for a long time, even after it is over. Regarding the issue of Hungary and Ukraine, yes, it will be easier now. I am also personally very grateful and relieved that there was such a clear election result in Hungary yesterday, with a 2/3 majority in the Hungarian parliament. This shows that our democratic societies are evidently much more resilient against Russian propaganda and further external influence on such elections. I must say, for me, this was one of the best pieces of news of the day yesterday, that we evidently still have such a high level of resilience in a democratic society as we see in Hungary. Right-wing populism suffered a major defeat in Hungary yesterday, and this does not only concern Hungary.